Okay, welcome to practice problem one in our time value future value series. Today we're going to do a lump sum problem. So let's go up here. This is going to be a lump sum future value. And all we're going to do today is just work through what a simple investment is going to look like over time. So we're going to pretend that our problem is a 5-year problem. So that's this times 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, year 2, year 3, year 4, year 5, and we're going to have an investment of $1,500, okay? And what we're going to do is we're going to invest this $1,500 and see what happens to it when it compounds over the next 5 years. Let's pretend that we're compounding at 7%. Okay, so the first thing I like to do here is first you have to figure out if you're going forward in time or backward in time. If you're going forward, we say we are compounding. We're going backwards, we say we are discounting. But the first thing I like to do is to create a little cheat sheet of my own. I do this with almost every problem to make sure that I've got all the right stuff in the right places. And so I list all the stuff that I'm looking for: future value, present value, the total number of periods, interest rates, and I even sometimes use payments, although clearly in this problem we're not going to use payments. Okay, so first thing I ask myself as I fill these out is what is my each of what is each of these that I'm looking for. So here's the future value. Do I have the future value? I don't. Future value is what I'm looking for, so I put a little question mark right here. My present value is how much money I have right now. That's going to be my 1,500. So I come in here and I do 1,500 and I put it in. Um, and then my n is the total number of periods. I'm compounding annually, so I'm really not that worried about it. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 total periods. And so my n is going to be 5 periods. And my interest rate, as we showed above, is going to be 7%. Okay, this 7% right here. And so I come back down to the interest rate and I put in my 7%. All right. My payments are 0, and we'll do payments when we talk about payment problems in the future. You don't have to put in payments. Right now we're just doing a very simple lump sum, so we just need these other 3 variables. All right. If we're calculating future value, then really what we're doing is compounding forward. So what we want to do is multiply all the different times that we're going to compound. So present value times 1 plus r to the n. And so this is as simple as saying 1,500 times 1 plus 7. But remember that when we're doing the actual equation, we have to use the decimals here. So it's going to be 0.07 to the 5 because we're compounding over 5 periods. In this case, it's 5 years. 5 years equals 5 periods. So that's relatively easy. When we do the math, this is going to look like 1,500, 1 point, let me clear that up a little bit, 1.07 to the 5th. And if I use my on the 10b, if I use my y to x button over here in yellow, I'm going to say 1.07 second y to the x 5, and that's going to give me 1.4026. And so this is the same as saying 1,500 times 1.4026. Okay, if we keep going and just keep going down the math, all I'm doing is multiplying those together, and I multiply that number by the 1,500, and that gives me a total result of $2,103.82. So this is my answer. This is how much money I'm going to get at the end of the time period when I get there. However, there is another way to calculate this out, and if we keep our focus on our little cheat sheet here, then what we can do is use the future value buttons that we have up at the top row. These future value buttons are going to do some of this calculation for us. And so the first thing I want to do is I want to clear everything out. You'll notice that when I hit this, I don't know if you can see that, but it says 1 period per year. And so I teach this using the 1 period per year function. And what we're going to do is put these same inputs that we have here, except we're going to put them into the calculator. And you'll notice that all of the inputs on this side of the line are found on the uh, time value of money line on these financial calculators. So first I'm going to do the first one. First I'm going to do my present value. The present value here. Let me switch so that we're all in the same place. So first I'm going to do my present value button. Okay, present value is going to be 1500, and all I'm going to do is just put it into my present value. The same thing applies for the next ones. All right, so here's my n, and I'm going to do n. That's 5, and I'm going to hit n. Simple as that. And then the same for my interest right here at 7. The only difference is that when we do 7 here on the calculator, it's already adjusted for the decimal. So you're not going to do 0.07, you're just going to do the 7. 7 goes into my interest, or interest per year, depending on which calculator you have. And on the 10B, all I'm going to do is hit future value, and it'll give me the same answer I had before, 210382. If you have a different calculator, you may have to use a computation button or a CPT button. And it should look like, and your CPT button should look just like, why am I on DAB? And your CPT button should look like this, CPT. And so you may want to hit the compute button before. Again, on the Hewlett-Packard 10B, all you hit is the future value button and the same answer. This 210382 should